This is going to be a little continuation about the incidents going on in LA. Without any further ado, let's jump into this. This is just some citizens' reaction and, of course, Maxine Waters. So, without any further ado.
And even those who were out of step with what we are advocating, peaceful protest, did not create any violence. Nobody was shot, nobody was killed. Get it in your head. And so, when martial law is called, what are you going to say? I missed the point. Don't.
I guess according to Maxine, somebody has to be injured or unalive for it to become not civilized protest, I guess. So it's okay to burn and destroy stuff.
Don't miss the point, you all. Don't think that somehow, because they called out the National Guard, there was violence. There was no violence. I was on the street.
Hey, she was on the street, so take her word for it. Okay, it doesn't matter what you're seeing, doesn't matter what you're hearing, doesn't matter what people are reporting. It's because Maxine was on the streets herself. You take her word for it. Take that to the bank.
I know. And I went from downtown detention back out into the community, talking to people what happened in Paramount, what happened in Compton, what happened in Inglewood. So, first of all, get it straight. And don't just rely on what you're being told or the few incidents that you saw. And even those who were out of step with what we are advocating, peaceful protest, did not create any violence. Nobody was shot, nobody was killed. Get it in your head. And so, when martial law is called.
And this is the real reason here why we have people that don't like the police, don't like ICE, and hate what's going on. Look at this picture. She's throwing up a LA sign. My man over there has a t-shirt that says ICE. I don't know if that's a merch advertisement or whatever, but oh my goodness, is that? Oh, that's all right, guys. You see that circle on the bottom of his leg? That's a GoPro. Nothing to be alarmed, nothing to be worried about. That's a GoPro. So that when he's running and doing his action sequence during this event, it can be tracked. That's what that is. Segment is going to be a treat. Reason being, I just want to show you guys all the presidents pretty much follow the same thing, right? As to why some of them are hated more than others, we will never know. You remember that old Tootsie Roll commercial? Like, how many licks does it take to get to the bottom of a Tootsie Roll? Well, maybe some of you guys don't know that, you know, but for my age viewers out there to know that commercial, you know what I'm talking about. But I have a treat. Here is a special somebody, a president, that is basically saying and doing the exact same thing that President Trump is doing. I want you to listen to his verbiage that he's saying and tell me what's different, right? Thoughts are always welcome in the comments.
If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half-century. And to those members of Congress who question my authority to make our immigration system work better, or question the wisdom of me acting where Congress has failed, I have one answer. Pass a bill.
Now, shout out to this gentleman. I really like what he had to say. Again, folks, listen. This is not just one person's, point of view. This is a lot of how Americans in general feel, right? Again, remember what I told you. I know this is an emotional topic, but remember, the Constitution is straight across the board. Unfortunately, we can't pick and choose what we're doing. So it's either you're going to be with the Constitution or you're not, right? And that's where the problem comes in, because you have people that are criminals and you have people that are not. But you can't differentiate between them, right? Because again, the Constitution is straight across the board. But listen to what this gentleman say, and you tell me if you disagree. Again, thoughts in the comments, please.
So let me get this straight, just so I could clarify it. You don't want to go back to Mexico. You're protesting to stay away from Mexico. But you're waving the Mexican flag, and you're waving it with pride. You're waving it in the United States. the country you're trying to stay in, the country you don't want to leave, but yet you're waving the Mexican flag with pride. Okay. That seems normal to you? That seems logical? That's not stupid at all? None of that's stupid. All right. You guys are an embarrassment to the Mexican culture and to the United States culture. You guys are an embarrassment to everybody around you, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Do better.
If you were to take the emotional part out of it, right? Because again, I understand this is a touchy subject. It is very emotional. But if you were to take the emotion out of it, did he say anything that was wrong? How do you feel about that? Again, please drop your thoughts in the comments. And let's move on to the last one. This young lady is on fire. Again, please, you tell me, thoughts and comments. Is she wrong? And listen to what she's saying. Listen to what she's saying.
It sounds like the tofu militia is talking real bold right now, saying they're going to go stand toe-to-toe with the 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines out of 29 stumps. Oh, well, let me go ahead and stop you right there, old Captain Keyboard, because you're about to challenge battle-hardened war dogs who have been doing nothing but cooking in the Mojave like rage-marinated meat grenades. And you seriously think that your Twitter fingers and tote bags are going to survive that? Oh, Lord. We're talking about 2-7, the 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines. Men who have been stranded in the desert of despair, also known as 29 Palms. And if you've never been there, then congrats, because your sanity is still intact. There is nothing out there. Just dirt, heat, boredom, and violence on standby. You have to understand, these gentlemen have been doing nothing but chewing sand and training for months. And now you're out here threatening to rise up against them. With what? Bricks? Slogans? Wi-Fi enabled courage? That's cute! These are active duty warlords. These Marines have actually stared down insurgents in real war zones. And you really think that your urban cosplay is going to rattle them? Bless it! Please, by all means, go stand toe-to-toe with these 500 Marines who have been counting down the days for someone, anyone, to give them a reason. You best believe I'll be there, in my folding chair, with my bucket of popcorn, sipping on my sweet tea as I watch your fantasy revolution get turned into the most one-sided beatdown since Sparta. You're not facing mall cops and weekend reservists, because you're going to be staring down some devil dogs who don't give a flying flip about your feelings, your hashtags, or your delusion of glory. So go ahead, F around. I triple dog dare you, because you're about to find out what happens when that leash gets popped off.
So, folks, what is your take on that? Is she wrong? How do you feel? I mean, the Marines are getting called in now, and the Marines are supposed to be the restorer of all, I guess, all things that went bad. Are you ready to go head-to-head with the Marines? As usual, please drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share. And until we meet again, please stay informed and engaged. And keep your radar locked in right here. Have a good one.